components, multiple layers involved in any cloud offering, and we will address each one of those in this webinar. The most fundamental layer, of course, for any cloud offering is the infrastructure. And what we have is we have partnered with an SAP-approved or certified hosting partner, which offers standard, best-of-the-breed hosting capabilities with some of the best industry knowledge. And of course, we also have partnered with multiple hosting companies to have our customers the advantage of choosing from global locations and access. The second aspect of it is the software, for which I think Bruce laid out pretty much in detail the capabilities and the advantages of SAP GTS. As Bruce highlighted, it is top-of-the-line solution for global trade automation and global trade management in the industry with some of the most complex scenarios that business users have addressed or seen in the past. What we are offering here as part of the solution is not only access to the best or the solution from SAP, but also the ability to stay up to date with the latest versions and newest functionalities, with timely upgrades to make sure that there's minimal impact and maximum throughput. The third layer is the content, and I'll talk about how all this ties in together. A lot of the times, customers have to deal with multiple vendors to go through each of these aspects, and as Bruce highlighted, in an ideal scenario, that should not be the case. The customer should get everything from a single source without having to worry about different vendors and different companies. Krypt has strategic partnerships with content providers, which provide content based on their needs, their business needs, and which will support their business from a global perspective. All of these are independent units for a GTS deployment, but the idea behind this offering is to club all these together and have the customer give the customer a single throat to choke, so to say, to have them a single source for all these components. The next layer is the implementation and professional services. As Krypt was kind enough to highlight, Krypt has extensive abilities and proven expertise in this domain. With over 40 deployments on GTS, we have never failed at a GTS deployment yet. We have sufficient expertise and experience in almost all the industry sectors like high-tech, chemicals, aerospace and defense, and have proven experience in these areas. So we not only have the skill set for the solution, but we also have industry-specific domain knowledge to make sure that the trade compliance tool satisfies all the needs for these specific to these industries. So the cloud offering will also have Krypt's experience and expertise in this area coming into the picture, and I'll talk a little bit more in detail on the solution offerings from Krypt. Next aspect of the cloud offering is the managed services, and I think this is something that Krypt has been doing for a number of customers for on-premise solutions, but we've extended this offering for the cloud-based solution as well. The idea behind adding these services was to help the customer, to help train the customer to make sure that they receive the right business consulting to support their business or end users, to make sure that they ramp up with sufficient support from their partner. As we've seen a lot of times, implementation of any new tool or any new solution introduces a number of gaps gaps in the business process or the end users, and these can be knowledge gaps, these can be process gaps, and Krypt is offering these services to make sure that the end user ramps up quick enough with the tool and is able to successfully execute their duties. And the final piece is the end-to-end support. Krypt has been involved in a number of support engagements with our customers where we're providing support for GTS as well as any allied SAP components. We've extended this support for the cloud offering as well, and we will be providing end-to-end systems and solution support for your trade needs. So this includes infrastructure. This basically includes all the components involved in the cloud offering. So you will receive the option of basis, infrastructure, database, content, of course the solution support from a GTS perspective, and managed services. One of the interesting points in this is that with the experience that Krypt brings to the table, each customer benefits from the experience of every other customer, and I think that's an interesting aspect to consider for your GTS deployment. Moving on to the next slide, I wanted to go a little bit more in detail for what the Krypt Cloud or what the cloud offering actually means, and there are certain concerns when it comes to security or access, and I wanted to address some of those concerns. As you can see, this is a very high-level architectural or pictorial depiction of how a customer would access the solution. We are offering multiple options in this case. Of course, you will have the client-to-site connectivity through VPN, where independent individual users will be able to directly access the solution over the web using industry-standard VPN capabilities. But we are also offering site-to-site VPN capabilities. So users who are in the internal customer network do not have to go through more steps to connect to the cloud offering or the cloud solution. The site-to-site VPN will offer them the capability to directly access the solution through their internal network, and there are no without compromising on security. The site-to-site VPN, of course, takes care of all data encryption, decryption, and of course IP securities. Moving on to the next slide. As I had mentioned before, each customer has different requirements and different users located in different geographical regions. We have made sure that the users for the customer will be able to access this solution globally and without much lag or without much delay and optimum performance. How we've achieved that is by partnering with hosting providers who have strategic geographical locations that allow this, and making sure that everything is tightly integrated without introducing any kind of risk or lag. This is very important from perspective of making sure that the data is available when you want it to be available. As you can see from the screen, in addition to the geographical locations, we have the most best of the breed, you can call it again, offerings for the infrastructure. We did a 10 gigabit redundant and encrypted MPLS, Tier 4 fully redundant data centers, highly secure and energy efficient data centers. Moving on to the next slide. I wanted to talk a little bit about the solution offerings. Now, we've taken care of the infrastructure. We've talked a little bit about the infrastructure and support pieces. But how would the GTS on the cloud solution be deployed for a customer? GTS is, as Bruce has highlighted, in his slides. It's a very complex solution. It expands over a number of, touches a number of areas in global trade. I wanted to talk a little bit about Krypt's cloud offering and how that ties in with SAP's strategy. So we've basically divided the functionality into bundles, as you can see from on your screen. These bundles are kind of an a la carte menu with a flavor of build your own pizza kind of offering, where you're able to choose each section along with the high-level sections as well. So, for example, and of course, these are also tied in with the SAP's licensing strategy. All this ties in well with what SAP has to offer when it comes to the global trade services functionality. Just to give you an example, a customer will be able to choose just the compliance piece or SPL piece for these sections, or the customer can choose just the import functionality, or just the export functionality, or simply the preference and compliance functionality. And within each of these bundles, of course, you have specific line items that can be, again, itemized or can be independent selections. You want to do self-filing, letter of credit, financial screening, or have trade preferences, but you want the customer needs specific trade agreements, just NAFTA or any of the Asian or South American trade agreements. That can be done as well. That can be implemented on as-need basis. And of course, this is scalable. So the best part about this offering is that once what this offers the customer is the ability to ramp up and get some of the quick wins that Bruce talked about in place and deployed quickly to make sure that you get continued buy-in from your business users. I'll talk a little bit more about the timelines as well, but the idea behind this was to identify those quick wins from the business user's perspective and deploy those, and then build on top of that as needed. And that's how we have bundled the solutions. That's how we have. Sorry.
Yeah, just a quick comment. This is Bruce. So I appreciate how you've laid this out, because it does show that although complexity lies within the requirements, right, the solution is comprehensive, and so it does allow you to focus in on the areas, whether it's export, import, or just SPL screening. You know, sometimes our customers or prospective customers think that it's such a large solution footprint that, you know, they have to swallow the whole thing, and that's not the case. And I like how you illustrate that it is, depending on whether it's one or multiple countries, or whether it's on just one or two different scenarios. As a customer, you do have the options of, and so that definitely has an impact on cost and also on the timing, right? Depending on what you're looking to roll out. But we have, as well as Krypt, made it available to focus in on the particular areas of the scope of the project.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Bruce. And yeah, this slide basically was just specifically for that. GTS has such a large offering in the trade compliance automation space, and customers get that flexibility with the cloud solution to identify quick wins and kind of deploy those and then build on top of that. That was the idea behind segregating these areas. This is an important, and I feel one of the biggest advantages of having a cloud solution, which is the timeline. On a traditional on-premise solution, you would have to go through certain process to have the GTS functionality in place before the end users can start using it. But what the cloud solution offers is, as I said before, identifying certain quick wins and deploying those. And I've highlighted some of the key areas that customers might be looking into and given some kind of reference timeline. Please bear in mind this is a reference timeline with of course, the bare minimum functionality, and we've not taken into consideration some of the complexities that go along with it. But it is possible to go live with an SPL and embargo functionality from week one. And I think that's something that drives home to most customers, and that's what an ideal cloud solution should have, is the ability to quickly deploy one of the most key areas of trade compliance automation, and then build up on that, and that ensures continued buy-in from your business users. As you can see from the screen here, the SPL and embargo, the Krypt Cloud can have this functionality within a week, and that's something phenomenal as far as what I've seen from previous experiences. It's one of the areas that most customers want to start immediately. It's an immediate need for most customers, and that's something that we can offer through this cloud. As you can see, the overall timeline also reduces because of the cloud offering, because of a lot of factors that come to picture, a lot of advantages that a cloud offering has as opposed to an on-premise solution, without any compromise on the actual functionality. You know, GTS is the top of the line, best of the breed trade compliance solution available out there. And what this cloud offering does is now not only you get best of the breed, but it's now something that you can get quicker. And I will talk a little bit more about the pricing options and other things. But those apart from those benefits, what this timeline benefit provides is that we can plan, the customers can plan their deployment schedules without having to compromise on one, the functionality, as well as the time to deploy for their GTS or trade compliance automation solution. This is a little bit on the pricing model. We tried to do a comparison on the traditional versus the cloud model. Now, in a traditional scenario, customers were looking at two sections of two costs, and one was a one-time cost, which was the licensing cost, the implementation cost, and the infrastructure cost. And also there was an ongoing component to the GTS deployment where customers had to build internal teams to support the solution. Of course, the maintenance cost that comes with the license, the support cost to support the solution, not just from the functionality perspective, but the allied aspects of an SAP implementation, basic security, and stuff like that. And I think one of the most critical aspects has been the content, and we've seen a lot of customers struggling with content updates and not having the right things in place to make sure that they remain compliant throughout. And at no point should they be non-compliant or should miss out on certain updates because they were not applied due to either holidays or the way their content update strategies were in place were not adequate, or simply lack of resources. And that's one of the things that we try to address here, is giving the customer through our managed services and through our support services. We want to ensure that there's no lapse in any kind of updates, not just to the software, but also to the content, making sure you remain compliant, and as well as you remain, you keep getting the benefits of the latest versions of the technology. What we've done with the cloud-based pricing is we split it only into simpler pricing models. There is an onboarding fee, which is going to be a factor of your monthly subscription cost, but the ongoing cost is the monthly. So all these services that I just highlighted before will be put in as a monthly subscription cost with a. We feel it's a 3 to 5 year contract is necessary to give the customer a benefit of the pricing model that's put in picture, and give the customer a benefit of CapEx versus OpEx, and that's what this slide talks a little bit about. There's a traditional model. There's a larger component of the capital expenditure, and a similar component on the ongoing operational expenditure. But in a cloud-based model, we try to reduce the capital expenditure that the customer has to go for. So the business users have that flexibility in deciding on what kind of solution they want by reducing the CapEx.